Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Team Monday Night Zoom. My name is Harlequin Murray. I am your co-host this evening, as I usually am on Monday nights. But all of you here should be on Ellen or my team. Ellen is my sponsor, so anybody on my team is also on Ellen's team. But we do have a few other people that we invite. We let other teams join us. So anyways, for those of you who are new here this evening, and this is your first time joining us, welcome to the team. We appreciate you being here and looking forward to meeting you and getting to know you. But anyways, for those of you who are new, I am going to introduce Ellen Winn, who is like I said, is my sponsor, and give you a little bit of her background, just so you know where she's coming from. She grew up in the Metro Atlanta area on a farm in Dallas, Georgia, which is absolutely gorgeous. Her property is. But anyways, she ended up after high school and stuff, after school, she went and started working in the restaurant industry. Actually, I think she started before she got out of school, but she worked her way up to being a trainer and a district director for Domino's Pizza, and was able to work for them for several years. And then she ended up deciding, you know what? I'm tired of this corporate thing. I want to go ahead and have my own business. So she opened up her own pizza restaurant. She actually had 2 different locations that she opened, and was a very successful business owner in her own right. And then about, I think it's been a little over 20 years ago now, she was introduced to network marketing and continued her phenomenal business success. And she ended up, whenever I met her, she was actually running a training center in Atlanta, as well as being the national training director for a network marketing company. So she's got a lot of experience training people. She's got experience working in business. She still owns her own limousine company, and is highly successful in that. I actually met her when she was the national training director for that network marketing company. I was one of her team members, but we have been friends ever since. It's been like 18 years now that we've been friends, so long time. But anyway, she is currently our upline in David Allen Capital, and she is an area director. She, outside of David and Wade, she is the first person to reach that level in the company. And without further ado, Miss Ellen, are you available and ready to talk to us?
I am. Hey,
Okay.
everybody. How are we doing tonight? Let me adjust my light here 1 second. Be right back.
Okay.
I've got it repositioned in a different spot, and I can't tell how bright things are or dim until I'm live back on camera. So
Okay.
that's a little better. There we go. Okay, yeah, welcome. And as Harlequin said, if this is your first time joining us, we're glad that you're here tonight, whether you're new in DAC or you've been here a while and just haven't joined in on one of our team Zooms. We're really excited to have you here. This is a very exciting time to be a part of David Allen Capital. Thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate that introduction, and I appreciate you saying yes to DAC. Guys, I introduced David Allen Capital to Harlequin, and it took her about a year to come back around and say, okay, the timing is right now. So never walk away from someone who has not accepted the opportunity to become an agent with DAC. Sometimes it's not a no, but a no, not now scenario, which happened to be the case for Harlequin. And, you know, she's a large part of my organization. She's my right hand every week as we're doing the team Zoom. She is a pro at this business, and I'm just super excited to be in business with you again, Harlequin. It's always good listening to that walk down memory lane. So guys, tonight I'm going to do the normal of going through and taking through the top recruiters, and we've got a level up promotion. We're going to hear from that person, and then we're going to talk about what's to come. So grab a pen and paper if you don't already have one. Be ready to take some notes, and we're going to get started. All right, let me get us into screen share mode. There we go. And for some reason, my voice has been crackling the past couple of hours talking to folks. So if I lose my voice, Harlequin, you may have to rescue me. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. All right. So you should see screen on slide on the screen. See you nodding your head. Okay. All right. So talking about DAC and the business opportunity and what we do as independent agents. Well, we're here fueling the American dream, whether it be helping that small business owner that is desperately needing funding and they can't get qualified through their local bank. We are the best alternative in the marketplace. Or whether it's your friend or neighbor or family member or a coworker or someone that you just met through a networking group or through social media that is looking for a part-time income stream, then we are fueling their American dream too by having what I believe is the best home-based business opportunity in the country, hands down. And it keeps getting better and better. And guys, the stuff that's right around the corner from us right now is going to be ridiculous. So when we talk about recruiting and building a team, you need to be paying attention. You need to be listening to that. We'll get into that more in just a minute. Okay. But DAC, our expansion philosophy is simply by building teams of independent agents. DAC does not do any advertising. They don't do any of the team building themselves. Now, David Rutz and the entire DAC support team, they're all independent agents. Everybody is. In fact, David is our company founder. He talks about not taking a salary from DAC. He earns commissions through the compensation plan, just like you and I do. So he has a team, he supports that team, and he gets paid through the different levels, as Harlequin referenced, David and Wade, having been area directors at the same time probably as I was when they first announced those, but they were really the first to reach area director and above, and I was the first person in the field to do that. But guys, our philosophy on growing a team is to create a world-class opportunity and then pay folks like you and I great commissions to help support those agents and help build that agency network across the country. You know, these companies like Century 21, there's a real estate company now, EXP Realty is the largest real estate organization in the world. They're using a network marketing model and sales distribution model, just like we are, where they're paying and incentivizing other agents that are already in the business with them to go recruit and find other agents. And that's exactly what DAC is doing. Okay, so we're going to go through team growth. These numbers really look dismal, and this is going to be a first. This is for the week of 7/3 through 7/9. So it was a holiday week. And not only was it a holiday week, it was a weird timing of a holiday week. A lot of times, most of our federal holidays fall on a Monday, right? So we've got a 3-day weekend. Well, the 4th of July fell on a Tuesday this year. So it ended up being a broken up 3-day weekend. For many people, it was a 4-day weekend. And for many more people, they took the entire week off because it's a great time to get away and do those family vacations. So our recruiting numbers were really down for the week. We only had 13 agents who had at least one new recruit for a total of 16 new agents. And that left us with only one top recruiter on the leaderboard. To have your name recognized on the leaderboard, you had to have at least 2 new agent recruits, and Nicholas Cransdown was the only one that had more than 1 agent recruit. So congratulations, Nick, for having 4 new agents for the week of 7/3 through 7/9. The rest of you who had at least 1 new agent, congratulations to you. And for the rest of you who are having conversations and no one has quite said yes yet, you're not on the leaderboard or haven't recruited anyone yet, as long as you're having conversations and sharing the information about our business, it's just a matter of time before your name will show up on this leaderboard for team recognition. All right. So let's talk about the big step here, and that's bonus plan rank recognition. And that's where you're not just recruiting people to a free opportunity, which is, it's really kind of easy to recruit here in DAC. It's very easy, actually. The hard part is getting out of your comfort mode and having conversations with people and talking about the opportunity. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. But the piece that really requires effort is finding customers. So the bonus plan rank recognition is really kind of neat. This is where the money transaction takes place. This is where DAC starts making money. And then when they make money, they pay us commissions off of the clients that we bring to the table. They don't make any money when we just recruit a bunch of agents, unless those agents are getting clients too. So today we're going to go through how you promote yourself through DAC 1, DAC 2, DAC 4 by getting personal customers. You do not need a team. You can have a team as you're moving through. In fact, moving through these ranks is going to position you to earn on bonuses on your team, right? By moving through those ranks. But to get to DAC 1, 2, or 4, you have to have personal qualifying clients. And a new bonus qualifying client, if you look at the chart here, a new qualifying bonus client that has at least 600 in bonus revenue, okay? And then a total past personal bonus volume from personal new qualifying client. So as a DAC 1, you have to have one new qualifying client and a total of at least 1,000 in bonus volume cumulative, right? Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 clients to get to that 1,000 in bonus volume because we have the giggle and the smaller fundings there. Hopefully we'll see a lot bigger numbers now that we have our new up to 10K in less than 10 minutes, right? And then we have going to DAC 2, you have to have 2 clients, 2,000 in cumulative bonus volume. DAC 4, 4 clients at least, and a total of 4,000 or more in cumulative bonus client. But look below here under DAC 1, the leadership overrides. As you move through these ranks, if you're building a team, this is where this rank advancement really helps you. It's really the only way it helps you. Now, as you move through those ranks, you're positioned to earn a matching bonus on what your team is doing on anyone that is not under another person at your same rank. So if you enroll them, you earn the enroller bonus plus 10% if you're a DAC 1. So this week we would like to recognize Emmett Nash. Emmett just hit DAC 1. He's on Harlequin's team. I know she spoke with him a little bit earlier. Hopefully he's got his microphone working. I saw he was on here earlier. So Harlequin, I'm going to let you talk for just a minute about Emmett and then invite him to answer a couple of questions for you.
Okay. And actually, I'm going to correct you because he's actually DAC 2 as of today.
I'm sorry. You're right. I know. I pulled up the wrong slide on that. I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. As long as we recognize the fact that he's a DAC 2 now.
Yeah, let me get off of screen share so I can see you and hear you talking. Give me a second.
Okay.
And can't find my Zoom window. There it is. Okay, off screen share.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so Emmett is one of my personally sponsored agents. So super proud and excited for him. But he lives here in the Atlanta area and I had met him through networking. But I'm going to let Emmett go. And Emmett, if you can kind of tell us, what industry your client is in, what you were able to help them get, and how you met them. Oops, and you're still not, we still can't hear you. Nope, you're muted now. Still can't hear you. It's your microphone on your computer is not linked up. Still not. Okay. Try and see if you can work on that, and if you can get it to work, we'll call you back up, okay? Because I was looking forward to hearing you. Ellen, we're gonna have to go back to you.
Okay, no worries. So yeah, before we do, Emmett, when you're looking at your screen there with Zoom, if you click on the microphone up arrow there, it gives you an option of different microphone inputs. At the very top, it'll say select a microphone. You want to make sure you have the correct microphone selected that you're trying to connect through tonight. Like I'm showing 3 different microphones on my system. But you have to open up that little up arrow in the very corner next to your microphone. All right. And at any point, if you get that unmuted where you can get that working, just let us know. Okay, let's go back into screen share, where I fixed the slide. Thank you, Harlequin, for pointing that out. Again, I apologize, Emmett. I just pulled the wrong slide.
That's okay.
Yep. All right. Okay, so let's go on to the next part here. We'll talk about building that agency and where that let me go back. So Emmett is now at DAC 2 instead of DAC 1. So to get there, he had to have at least 2 qualifying clients and at least 2,000 in bonus volume to get there. But now Emmett is positioned to where he makes a 15% match on what his team does. So could earn an enroller bonus. In addition to that, earn an extra 15% on top of it. So it's really a lot of extra money on the table, especially if you have a team that is producing a lot of revenue and lots of fundings and lots of bonus clients along the way. As Harlequin and I can both attest to that, right? Harlequin is a DAC 4 and she consistently is getting bonuses on what her team activity is. She works hard to earn that. She's available for her team to do calls, training, etc. But that's the beauty of our compensation plan. So, all right, let's talk about that, building the team and that significant income. As an agent with DAC, you can earn a lot of money on your own clients, just on your efforts alone. You don't ever have to build a team, but if you want to, then there is a significant income opportunity for you earning on what that team does. But you got to be willing to help them and be willing to be a team player to really capitalize on that money. So as a DAC agent, if you want to build a portfolio of agents, you can earn between 10 and 50% income match on all the personal bonuses that you help your personally enrolled agents earn. So as we look at this image of the United States, all these agents across the country there, those are people that you personally enroll. Well, you can go out and as they build a team, they are probably going to want, I mean, as you've recruited them, they're probably also going to want to do what you're doing, right? Build a team also. And as they do, these smaller desks around the nation there, that's the expanded agency network or extended agency network. And you can earn leadership overrides on what that team is doing as well. In fact, you can earn 10 to 50% match on their income. Plus, one of the key features of our compensation plan is permanent coded ownership groups, where as you're moving through DAC 1, 2, and 4, when someone in your team hits the same level that you do, now they're going to be earning the money that's flowing up, and it can kind of cut you out of commissions to a certain point. But once you hit area director and above, you qualify for permanent coded groups, and you'll never, ever be cut out of those permanent coded groups. So I've got a huge team in my area director group, and no matter how many area directors pop into that team, I'm still going to be the one that is earning the overrides on that. Because when you hit area director, you start your own new coded group, and the new people coming in after you hit AD go into your code, but everybody else that's left behind and still building will be in my code. So that one code alone will pay me a fortune over the lifetime of my business here with DAC. The next way we'll get paid is residual income on your 7 compressed levels of your team. Okay. And this is up to 30% where you're going to get an income match on their residual income as well. And then we also have our 7-level bump up bonus where you can earn an extra 25%. But to get to that bump up bonus, you have to hit at least 1,000 in personal residual revenue, meaning residual is clients that bill or reoccur on a monthly basis. So think of things of reoccurring revenue where you have payment processing clients, where you have Relevate accounts. Zoom, we're going to be going live with that very soon. That's a monthly billing. Our DAC Protect is a monthly billing to the customer. Our healthcare bills monthly to the customer. And those are all repeat residual accounts. So when you bring those clients to the table, that is building towards that 1,000 in residual revenue that you need to hit as a minimum to hit that extra bump up bonus where you can earn an extra 25%. So how does that work? If you made $1,000, 25% match on that is another 250. So instead of 1,000, you'd make 1,250 for that month on residuals, right? So it can be a lot of money. Every one of you need to be focused on getting those long-term residual customers. Why didn't I mention funding? Because funding is a one-time hit. ERC is a one-time hit, right? Line of credit is a one-time hit, but then they'll draw more money. So that'll come trickling in. And then our funding, we also have renewal clients on that, and those will come trickling in. But you can guarantee and know exactly what your residual is going to look like when you're building it off of those clients that have reoccurring monthly revenue through the model of the product that they're using or the service that they're using. Okay. All right. And then as you're building a team and going through the compensation, going through the ranks and ranking up, that's really where you're going to be building long-term residual, long-term income. If you're not building a team, then you're going to earn money off of what you do with the residual clients and with fundings and renewals and all of that. But by having a team of people, your income is multiplied 10, hundreds, thousands fold because you started sharing the word about this agency opportunity. Okay. And another thing, I say you want to support people, but guys, we have systems in place. DAC has systems in place. As a team leader, I have systems in place to help you support your team. So don't wait till you get your first funding. Don't wait till you know everything about this business. If you really are excited about DAC, right now is the time for you to start recruiting. There's nothing better than putting a fire under you to have somebody in your team getting a funding before you do. And you're going, man, I got to get caught up. I got to stay ahead of this person. So don't feel like you have to have success before you can share the opportunity with other people. But in this example, this one example of all these people that you personally recruited, and remember they were building teams too. This team example is showing $574,000 in team earnings. Okay. Remember, you can earn 10 to 50% match on that. So anywhere from 57,400 up to 287,000 could be your match depending on your qualification level if you had a team that produced this type of revenue. Now, this is just an example, and it's a true diagram of how our compensation plan works, but it's certainly not any income guarantee. It's done for training purposes only. So make sure I'll put that disclaimer out there. But if you did the math and you met all those qualifications, those are the numbers that you could be earning if you had a team that was producing. Okay. All right. So on to a team and them producing. This is Independence Month.
Ellen,
Yeah.
your camera is off.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that.
Mhm.
I turned it off when I was working away on the slide so that y'all wouldn't be paying attention to what I was doing. All right. Thanks, Harlequin. Okay, so this is Independence Month, month of July. So what does that mean? Well, that means that anyone that you have personally recruited or are going to personally recruit into the DAC business during this month-long promotion, you'll get paid as engaged. What is engaged? Engaged means you earn 25% income match. And this is whether you're engaged or not. If you're already engaged or amped up according to the compensation plan, then that's how you'll get paid, right? Because you've met those qualifications. But this promotion is really for the large percentage of agents that out there that are missing out on commissions because they have not gotten a personal client in the past 60 days. So it means they're not either qualified with 200 in personal qualifying volume that would pay them a 10% match, or they're not engaged, which means they've had a client in the past 60 days, or amped up where they've had a qualifying client in the past 30 days. So this is for those of you who are not engaged or are not in your first 60 days in the business. And it means that you can get paid anyway due to this month's promotion. So what are the rules on it? Well, this has got to be fundings from people that you personally enrolled as agents. They're on your front line, level 1. And the funding has to take place between July the 7th and July the 31st. New clients or renewal clients count, but ERCs are not falling into this because the ERCs that will be paid out this month, that got started back in October on a lot of those clients when we started doing the submissions. But it's a great opportunity for you to go make some extra money. It's a great fire starter for you to get excited about the recruiting opportunity. I know some agents, they go, well, I'm not recruiting anybody. I'm not qualified to earn on them. Why do I want to build a team? Here's why you want to build a team. Imagine that you and I both knew Harlequin Murray. Think about this. We both know Harlequin Murray, but I got to the invitation mode for Harlequin before you did. So she's looking at David Allen Capital through my referral link, right? Even though she didn't join in the first year, I got the conversation started. And because of our prior experience, I'm pretty confident that even if somebody else came along to Harlequin, she would have said, yeah, I've already seen DAC, or it just wasn't a good fit for me, but she would have circled back around to me knowing that I'm a team builder and I'm a good support person, right? So anyway, I had that conversation first. So now I got to recruit Harlequin and you didn't, because you didn't have the conversation with her, right? So that's just the example of why you want to be team building. Whether you're qualified to earn now, it's not about the now money. Although many of us need the now money, right? It's not about the now money. It's about what the potential is for next month or 6 months or a year or 2 or 5 or 10 years from now. It's about the potential that they could produce. And you always have the opportunity to come back along and get yourself qualified to start earning money on what they do. So don't worry about whether you're qualified now or not. You need to look at the big picture and the long-term success that they could have, which could attribute to you having long-term success here as well. So want to invite you to invite some people out tomorrow. So
Ellen,
yes.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. Can you go back one slide?
Mm-hmm. That one?
Yes.
Okay.
It is not that they funded between July 7th and 31st. It's they apply. Well, on the July 7th, they have to apply on July 7th or after.
Did he put that out in the group in writing?
I know that it came up today when I was asking him about renewals. He said they had to apply on July 7th. They do have to be funded by the 31st.
Okay. Because I just went back to my notes when he first announced it, and I wrote anything that funds between the 7th and 31st, and I didn't update any notes that he said. So thank you for saying that. I would defer to, let's see what he has in writing that gets posted on the DAC agent group as to whether that applies or not. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they
because
started an application and not get funded for another 2 weeks. They'd probably have to start over because they're kicking them out now. But yeah. Okay.
well, no, the reason why I specify that is I currently have somebody on my team that they sponsored somebody
Mhm.
who got a funding on Friday. We don't know if they applied on Friday or if they applied previously.
Got it. Yeah,
So-
so if we followed the funding rule, that would be good for that agent. If we follow the applied rule, then that would not be good for that agent.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I think we still need some clarification on that. I'll see if they can post that in the agent group. But for most of you, it's about agents that are currently on your team or agents that you want to invite onto your team, okay? And the invitation on that gives you the opportunity to be eligible to earn on them. But before I go into tomorrow night and the business opportunity, guys, if you're not already reaching out to people that you've personally enrolled into DAC, now's the time to do that. You know, we talk about on our trainings that anytime we launch something new, it's a great time to reach back out to people you've already talked to, whether it's a client that has applied for funding and got funded, or whether it's someone that applied and didn't accept the offer or didn't qualify at the time. Any new product launch is a good time to reach back out. Hey, I'm calling you today because, right, we just launched a new program and I wanted to make sure you're aware of it because it might be of benefit to you. Or you're reaching out to people that you've recruited into your team that have been inactive, right? You haven't talked to them in forever. Now's a great time to reach out and say, hey, I'm reaching out to you because I want to make sure you're seeing all of the current updates and things that are happening with DAC. And I assure you, this new launch that we just had with the up to 10K in less than 10 minutes has already created a firestorm of new applications coming in, and agents that have been here for a long time reaching back out and saying, hey, I saw the announcement of this. I need to get re-engaged with DAC. I'm seeing that within my own team. And David mentioned that on either today or Friday's call as well. So new things spur new interest, and it's a great opportunity for you to try to get your team re-engaged. Now, I was talking with somebody the other day and they're going, yeah, well, I've always found that it's easier to give birth than raise the dead. Which is an old saying in the networking industry of giving birth and bringing new people in that don't have a negative attitude from anything that they may be down on about the company that you're working with. Give new birth and bring people in that are excited. But, you know, I know a lot of people that have gone inactive with DAC, not because they didn't like DAC, but it required more effort from them, or it was hard for them at the time. Believe me, over the past 5 years that I've been here, our whole program has evolved and we're continuing to evolve. But when I first started, we really had just about 5 different lenders in our pool of lenders. And we had a single credit card processor. That evolved. You know, we added different lending programs, and now we are where we are today. We're about to launch our new healthcare program. We're about to launch Zoom. We're about to launch a consumer product with Relevate. And that's all I can talk about. Okay, because David's talked about that on our Zoom. So lots of good stuff coming, but now's the time to be building. If you want to wait and start building a team when all that stuff is live, there's going to be a little firestorm going on online with some of the things that launch, and somebody's going to get to someone that you personally know before you do if you're not having those conversations. So Harlequin suggested something earlier today when we were talking about reminding everyone of what's coming up tomorrow. And that is something that she's done with Eric Worre. When there's a business opportunity or a live event coming up, let's do what Eric would do. And that is pull out your phone right now and take a couple of minutes. And once you just scroll through your contacts, or Maybe you've already got a list made of people that you would like to invite, or you've been thinking about it and you're going, man, I'd love to get DAC business in front of, what's that name? Who is that person that you've thought about it? Who's that person that you would love to have on your board of directors if you were starting a company and you needed 5 key people to help you make business decisions? Who are those 5 people that you would like to have in business with you? That's how you really should look at your DAC business. Who would your board of directors be if you were starting a multi-million-dollar company? Whose business input would you count on, and who would you trust and want to be arm in arm with you in that building a giant company together? Who would you want to share your success with as you're building that $1 million company arm in arm, right? Those are the people that you need to be inviting to DAC, and you need to be thinking about who you're going to extend that invitation to. So you can do this a couple of different ways. You can invite them to our business presentation tomorrow night, which will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern time at daczoom.com. You can just extend that invitation to come out tomorrow, or like David recommended today, you can invite them to take a look at your website, which is a pretty current update. It was done last month, right? The video on there. They could go look at that. And if they like what they see, then they would have the opportunity to invite to the live presentation tomorrow too. So you can do one of 2 things, right? Neither one is going to be wrong. I just want you to take that step and send out some messages. And you can do it via text message. You can do it through Messenger. Be careful doing it through Messenger. You can't send messages out to too many people, or Facebook will shut you down. But I always ask these 3 basic questions when I'm talking to someone about our income. I like to ask the question, first you're going to warm up the conversation, warm it up. If you haven't talked to them in a long time, say, hey, I hadn't talked to you in a long time. Saw you on Facebook today, wanted to touch base and see how things are going. Something like that to get the conversation started. And then they're giving you a catch up real quick. Say, listen, when I saw you, you instantly came to mind for a company that I'm working with. Do you keep your options open for making money outside of what you're currently doing? That's question number 1. Okay. That other stuff I said was just a warm up. Do you keep your options open for making money outside of what you're currently doing? We're not trying to replace their income. It's an in addition to, right? That's question number 1. If they say, sure, what do you got? Well, it'll only take you about 15 minutes to decide if it's a good fit. It may or may not be a fit, but I have some information I want to show you. The number 1 question, do you keep your options open for making money outside of what you're currently doing? Number 2 is, it'll only take you about 15 minutes. And number 3 is, it may or may not be a fit. Those 3 things are what you need to wrap into conversation, and they can go in any order that you want. It could be do you keep your options open? I've got something I want to show you. It'll only take about 15 minutes. And by the way, it may or may not be a good fit. But the may or may not be a good fit takes away the pressure for them thinking that they're going to watch something and you're going to hound them till they get started, thinking that they've got to spend money. You can even say, hey, and there's no cost to this, no cost, no obligation whatsoever. May or may not be a good fit. You could add that in easily as well. But those key things are what I usually talk about. Sometimes it'll come into a natural conversation where I'm talking to somebody that is saying that they're looking to make extra money, and I'm going, well, hey, I've got something that I'd like to share with you. I can send you some information. It may or may not be a good fit, and it'll only take you about 15 minutes. See, I said the same thing, those 3 things in a different format. So as I said earlier, hopefully you got pen and paper out to take those notes, to have that conversation and build that into your memory banks on what to say. Okay. But as I said, let's take a look at your phone, or take a look at that list, and who those 5 people that you would like to have as your board of directors. And let's start the reach out method. Are you going to do it by text? You're going to do it through Messenger, or some of you are further west than I am here, just outside of Atlanta, and it's before 9 o'clock, and it might be appropriate for you to do a phone call. I do find that when you do the phone call, sometimes it can get into a longer conversation if you don't know how to cut that off. And the way to cut that off is when you're asking those questions, lead into it after the, hey, I want to catch up with you. I saw you on Facebook and you came to mind today. I know it's been a long time. I hope all's well with you. Do that quick warm up and then just say, listen, the purpose of my call is I've got a business or a company that I'm working with, and we're looking for sharp people. When I saw you today, I thought, well, I've got to reach out to Lori and just say, Lori, do you keep your options open for making money outside of what you're currently doing? And if she goes, yeah, well, what do you got? Well, listen, it'll only take you 15 minutes or so to figure it out. I want to send you some information, and it may or may not be a good fit, but can you take a look at it if I send it to you right now? Get a time commitment on that. And then they're going to go, well, what's it about? Hey, I'd love to tell you more, but I've got some other calls that I need to do, and I've got a Zoom I've got to jump on. Have your exit strategy so you don't get strung out on this long call, because the worst thing you can do is try to tell them about the business over the phone when you're going to be all over the place. And all we have is a very succinct video from David Rutz, our company founder. Which one's better? To see all the information with slides to back it up, or to be hearing this lengthy conversation over the phone that's going to lead to, well, how are you doing? How much money are you making? How's that working out for you? So don't put yourself in those situations, right? Another question that comes up is, how much money are you making? My standard response is, because nobody in corporate America is going to go, well, how much money are you making? Asking a senior level VP there, right? They may Google it, and a lot of companies can find that today. But somebody asked me recently, hey, just curious, if I build my organization to where you are and had all of this going on, how much money would I be making? Or can you tell me how much you're making? And my answer is, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Now, that answer works for somebody that's making a whole lot of money or somebody that's brand new and making zero, right? All you got to have is the belief in what we're doing, and the income will come. So that's for our business opportunity tomorrow. And then followed at 9 p.m. tomorrow, we have our business services training that will also be at daczoom.com. David said today we may have some guest speakers. He's not in a position to really make an announcement because they've got some things they're trying to get launched and going live. So he didn't want to set expectations for something and that not be what we're training on tomorrow. So just know tomorrow the biz ops is going to be great. And then the training following, you need to plan to be on that. Another benefit of inviting people to the live Zoom tomorrow is teeing them up for that and saying, hey, we got a live presentation from the company founder tomorrow. And, if you like what you're hearing, it's going to be followed up with training. So let them know that they've got that time slot to set aside if they can. And if they go, oh, well, I won't be able to attend the training, no problem. It's all going to be recorded. I can send you the replays. In fact, if they say they can't come to the 8 o'clock training, the presentation tomorrow, say, no worries. I've got a recent presentation with the same information that I can go ahead and send you now. So don't let them say no, tomorrow night doesn't work, be an out. You can go ahead and send them the link. What link would you send? davidallencapital.com/partner/your ID number or your unique URL that you created when you signed up with DAC. Like, I've got an agent ID number, or I can use my name, Ellen Winn, either or. They're interchangeable, so whichever one, but make sure that your unique identifying information is at the end of that link when you send it out, so it gets tied back to you. Okay, Harlequin, did Emmett ever get his microphone situation working?
We're going to find out. He has switched computers, so let's see if here.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, we can. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, this worked the last time. I appreciate your patience with that very much. You had mentioned who I signed. This ERC thing was a fellow who I met at a networking meeting. The interesting thing was when I first approached him, he said not to bother with it, that he didn't have enough employees to make it worthwhile. And he got $40,000. So that was worth his while to do it, even though he initially just dismissed the whole thing as not worth his time. And having owned a small business, I can tell you that every $40,000 you can get makes a difference. So don't let somebody scare you off, or don't let them scare themselves off by not thinking it's worthwhile. It may very well be worthwhile. But that's how I found him. He's in a printing business. I'm a small business. I used to own a printing business, and I can identify with him. But the main thing was, initially, he just blew it off. He said, nah, it's not worth it. I don't have that many employees. But he did.
Okay, I want to interrupt you there, and I know Harlequin's going to ask you a couple of questions, but I want to make a point on what you just said for everybody who's listening tonight, that you can take Emmett's story on what he just shared about this client. When somebody tells you, hey, I don't think we qualify, we made too much money or whatever, which you need to know the qualifiers, right? All you need is at least one W-2 employee that's not an immediate family member. You didn't have to lose money, but you had to be impacted by COVID. W-2 employees qualify, and either or on the qualifications, or if you started a new business after February the 15th, 2020, you possibly qualify, right? So next time somebody tells you that they don't qualify because of whatever's in their own mind, as Emmett's client was, say, hey, you know, I've heard that many times before. In fact, I just listened to one of our agents tell a story about a man that thought the same thing, but he went ahead and let us take a look at his documentation, and lo and behold, that business owner received $40,000 back from the IRS. So that's a great story for you guys to share. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, Emmett. Harlequin, did you want to ask him anything specific to share?
Yeah. Emmett, how many full-time employees did he have?
I don't know.
Okay.
He just said, I don't have enough to fill with. And of course, I never see his paperwork, so I don't know how many he had. But he has a small shop. I would imagine, I would just guessing 5 or 6, but that's a guess.
And awesome. The beauty is you didn't have to know, because our ERC experts take it away from you after you get the client over to the form. So good question, good response.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Emmett, on becoming a DAC too. I'm super excited and proud of you. And I know he actually has another client that we're waiting to hear back that has submitted to the IRS as well for ERC. So
that's great.
And he's gotten some fundings and doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I got to share this story, Emmett. I know you're doing a lot of networking, as you just shared in your testimonial there. Well, I am a member of my Chamber of Commerce here. Very busy. I'm an ambassador with them. I went through a leadership series with them last year. So I'm very active, right? And I had a lady come up after one of our open networking where we had a lot of guests come in, and she said, David Allen Capital, do you know a man named Clarence? And my memory banks are going, and I'm going, I'm not sure that I do. And, you know, I see everybody's name in a downline report, and I add you guys to my emails and everything. But until we've had a conversation, and especially on a Zoom like this, I don't always recognize a name, just, you know, because I've got tens of thousands of agents in my organization. But anyway, this lady had met Emmett at a networking group, and she said, oh yeah, he's at this one and he's at this one. And I'm going, I don't know. I'll have to look him up. And then I came to Harlequin later and I said, hey, I ran into a lady that knew someone with David Allen Capital. Does this name ring a bell? And she goes, oh yeah, I recruited him. So good job, Emmett, getting out there and talking about DAC. I know you're actively doing that because I hear that feedback. So it's either you or Harlequin. If I run across anybody in my local area that David Allen Capital rings a bell with, they're going, there's this, and I had this happen Friday, Harlequin. I had a lady that said, that's all she could remember. I said, Harlequin Murray. And she said, yes. She said, I have met her at a couple of events, and she's always talking about David Allen Capital. So plant those seeds, guys. They really pay off, and people will remember you when it comes back around and they go, hey, do you know this guy? Because I'm bringing David Allen Capital back around on the second conversation, but hopefully they'll go back to you as the first conversation that really made that introduction, right? So good stuff. All right. Anything else before we wrap up, Harlequin, on anything we've talked about that I was supposed to cover and got excited and forgot to cover?
Not that I can think of.
Awesome. Well, let's get busy and let's do some invitations and get folks in front of this opportunity, because I'm telling you what is to come over the next few weeks and the months ahead. It's going to be like a totally different company than what we see today, in a good way, right? The foundation has been laid for 8 years here with DAC, since 2015, since our founding, and the teams are there, the support teams are in place, the key players in the partnerships that David has created with our service providers, and more to come. And a lot of these service providers that are coming on board now, those conversations have been in process for months before they come to fruition. David's not jumping quickly into something without really building that trust relationship with his partners. As you heard, we've switched over and we're no longer sending business over to one of our funding partners because they didn't want to honor the contract. So David always looks out for us and looks out for our clients, and what's to come is going to be absolutely amazing. I want each and every one of you guys to see the vision that I see. I know in my heart, I see it. I've been watching this development since I started 5 years ago, and I've been watching and listening closely, watching brick by brick by brick get laid in our foundation. And we're really getting ready to take on a world stage here with what we have to offer in the B2B community for business owners, as well as the home-based business space. So we're going to be in for a great ride, but it's going to be a lot more fun with a team than it will be if you're flying solo. So let's go get it, and let's get some people on the Zoom tomorrow night. All right. All right. Thank you all. Appreciate you big time for being here.
We've got a question.
Okay. I see that now. Yeah. Hey, Jesse. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, hey, how you doing? How you doing, Ellen? I had a question about the 10K in 10 minutes. I have a client in New York, and I wasn't sure. I remember one of the Zooms, Dave was talking about 2 states that weren't able to. I know California was one of them. Was New York the other one?
It was, yes. So I'm glad you asked that question. Yep, California, New York, neither one of those clients can get funded through Giggle, okay? But look at the big picture of what their revenue is. If they have a business checking account, and if they're doing more than 5,000 in revenue, we very possibly can get them funded through the Bank Breezy team. So, but here's the thing, that's automatically built into the application sequence. So if you're talking to somebody in New York and they're answering the questions, it's going to send them over to the in-house team at Bank Breezy, as long as they have the 5,000 revenue and they're operating through a business checking account. It's going to do the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, thank you.
Yeah, good question. Thanks for bringing that up. All right, anything else, Harlequin? I didn't ask if there were questions. We don't have chat open, so should be it.
Yeah, no, actually chat is open, but nobody has sent me any questions tonight.
Okay, awesome.
And one other thing that I will say in reference to the 10K in 10 minutes, for those same clients that are over 5,000 in revenue and they have a business checking account, but their bank does not participate in Plaid, they can also go and they'll have to manually say they're doing over 15,000 in revenue, I believe is how it's happening. But they can go through Bank Breezy if they can't link their bank account.
Yep, that is correct. And what Harlequin just said is key. So they can't link, tell them, and if they're doing over 5,000 with a business account, just tell them to start back over with the application from your David Allen Capital website, go back through and answer the question differently on the revenue and say, yep, when you get to revenue, that's the question that sent you over to our Giggle partner, or one of them, but all they need to know is one. Tell them to answer 15,000 or more as their revenue, so it goes to the in-house team to look at those bank statements. One other thing on Plaid, since y'all brought this up, have you ever Googled Plaid? If you haven't, you should. Plaid. And when you find Plaid, it'll come up as a fintech company, because they are a financial technology company that provide access for financial institutions to link. And it really shows who they are and their pedigree. So if you're ever talking to somebody about Giggle and them going, well, I'm not comfortable linking my bank account, send them the link to Plaid, so that they can read on their own and see what the credentials are of this company that is trusted by international companies for safe and secure bank transaction, bank connecting there. So that's a pro tip for you tonight. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you all. We'll see you on the live Zooms tomorrow night on our first Tuesday, which is actually the second Tuesday, but I digress. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.